Hello everyone, my name is Byron and today we are going to start going through table views. One of the most common views you will find in any app is a table. It is in almost every single app and there are so many different ways to use it. So I will be putting together videos on how to build tables from the first steps to some advanced tricks of the trade, and this is the first video. So today I'm going to show you how to create a very, very simple table. Before we get into the code, I need you to go to your main storyboard. If you just started a new project, this is what your files would look like, and you just need to click here on the main storyboard and then come into here. You're going to have this view controller that is completely blank. So we wanted to actually just delete this view controller altogether and come up here and hit plus and type in UITableView controller. Double click there. And now we're going to set this guy to our class. So we're going to click here on our view controller. Come over here to class. If you're not already on this fourth icon, it looks like a little profile card. Show the identity inspector. You click here and you say view controller and it should all complete for you. You hit tab and now you've set it to your view controller. With view controller set, now we're going to go over to this next one, the attributes inspector. And we're going to click on him and come down and check is initial view controller. That's going to tell our app to open this up. Back to the code, we want to have our table accessible here. So the first thing I'm going to do is change my UI view controller into a UI table view controller. Now if I run the app, you will see a blank table. We didn't have to do any extra work, but like I said, it's blank. So there's really nothing here to see. So it's not very interesting. So let's add some rows to make this more appealing. To create the rows, the table needs a UITableView data source. Now typically you would make a new class or extend the current class you're in to say, hey, this is going to be my data source. But in our case, because we're using a UITableView controller, this class is already the data source. And all we have to do is tell the table to use this view controller as its data source. So if I just say TableView dot data source equals self, we have successfully now told our table view that this view controller that we're using is the data source. But we're not done. We still need to add at least two methods to make this work. The first one is number of rows in a section. So every table already has at least one section by default. So all we need to do is just say how many cells we want to see. And in this case, we'll just say return 3. The second function we need to define is self_row at index path. Right there. This function will provide each cell to the table. And we're going to start with just a default cell. So let cell equal UITableView cell. And we have these styles. We have various options, but we're just going to go with default. And we don't need to use a reuse identifier at this point, so I'm just going to leave it as nil. Now I can return cell here, and that will work, but this cell would be blank, so that's not very interesting. I'm just going to use one of the default text label fields and set it to hello world. Now, what we should see here is 3 rows of hello world. And let's run it. And there we go, 3 rows of hello world. Now, one more thing, what we can do is access which row we are working with by using index path right here. Index path gives us the row and the section that this row is in. We're not going to deal with the sections here, but we will use the row. We will change the content of our cell to display which row we're looking at, and we'll just leave it at that. So I'm going to do one of these so I can write some code inside of my string here, and it's going to just add whatever value the row is to our string hello world. So if I run this, what we should see is hello world 0, hello world 1, and hello world 2. There we go. All right, awesome. So there you have it, a simple way to create a table, and I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time for the next part on tables.